Hi. Today I want to talk about how if you had full information, you wouldn't judge anyone. So let's begin. Judgment feels like seeing clearly, and that's the problem. People treat judgment as if it were moral vision, as if condemning something proved understanding. Psychologically, it is the opposite. Judgment appears where understanding stops. You no longer understand, so you judge. You take the moral high ground. But if you had full information, not comforting information, not selective information, but full information, or adequate information, as Spinoza would say, you would not judge. Not because you approve, not because you would make an excuse for it, but because judgment would no longer be necessary. Judgment is what the mind does when it can't see causes. It compresses complexity into blame, it replaces structure with story, and makes all the little pieces up because it needs to serve a purpose. Spinoza said that people believe themselves free because they are conscious of their actions and ignorant of the causes that determine them. This is so true. That ignorance doesn't stay neutral. It turns into moral certainty. The less you understand, the more confident your judgment feels. This is so true in psychology. There's the experiment where the less people know, the more they think they know. It's called the uncertainty principle, I believe. But that's what happens. And it goes from the stages of unconscious incompetence. You're really lousy, but you don't know you're lousy. You think you're going to be a racing driver if you learn to drive. Then you go unconscious competence, your first driving lesson. Oh, I'm not this racing car driver. And then you go to conscious competence. So as you learn to drive, you become better at driving, and you know you're good enough to pass the test. And then the more you drive, the more you naturally drive, the more certainty you actually have. You just go into unconscious competence, where you just drive. So, the less you understand, the more confident your judgment feels. This is why people judge strangers more than intimates, friends, family, and workmates. This is why distance produces condemnation, why closeness dissolves certainty. As information increases, judgment weakens. Not because people become softer, but because the caricature collapses. These are all the isms: racism, genderism, whatever ism. Judgment isn't discernment. Discernment improves with information. Judgment peaks when information runs out. People resist this because judgment protects identity. And there we have the cat amongst the pigeons. It lets you believe you see clearly because you're better, not because you are situated. Understanding threatens that fantasy. It removes moral altitude. It replaces righteousness with accuracy. And accuracy is quiet. It doesn't feel like strength. This is why judgment rushes back in. Big, strong judgment. I'm better than you. Kinder judgment, therapeutic judgment, empathic judgment. The structure stays. So if you notice judgment arising as you listen to this, don't try to stop it. Just notice where understanding ends. That edge is the work.